On today's Andy's Autosport Manufacturer Spotlight, we're talking with Mike from Fairchild Automotive, and we're going to talk about why all window molding rubber is not created equal. Hey, Mike, welcome to the studio.
Hi, Bill. Nice to meet you.
Hey, it's glad to have you here. So let's talk a little bit about Fairchild Automotive and the products that you have, and why your door seals and all the things that you carry are a little bit different.
Well, when we go ahead and make a part, customers usually come to us and ask us if they want something that's original to the OEM.
Okay.
How we work it is we ask them for an original product, original
Sure.
OEM piece. The piece then is re-engineered using that particular part, and when it's re-engineered, we bring it back. We also request a mating piece, so it's kind of what we call it goes into. Sure. And also test fit it.
Well, that way you can make sure that everything is exactly as it's supposed to be. Now, one of the things that I've noticed about some of your products, like the little seals that we have, these are little anti-rattle devices on the back. They are really, really well done, and they're absolutely look as good or better than OEM.
Well, again, we start out with an original part, which is an original OEM piece, and we send that to the factory, and the factory breaks that down and breaks it apart and examines it. Oftentimes builds a print to it so that we know exactly where the clips are placed,
Sure.
what the profile is. Also, the radius of the bend is very important to the car, to the match. What that turns out to is a duplicate to the part that was made originally by OEM.
Well, and it has to fit in the OEM spot, so it's real important that that is manufactured correct, and that it's blueprinted correctly, so that it will go into all those cars. Because there may be 500,000 Camaros out there that need a new window strip or something like that. So it's real important that it fits exactly the way it did before.
Yes, exactly. And oftentimes we have our customers test the part, so the proof is in the pudding. When they test it and they examine it and they bless it, then we know we made a good part, and we go down to manufacturing and then supply it.
Well, and it's real important, like you were talking about, as far as the bends. Now, I know there are some manufacturers out there that just don't go that extra mile, and those little bends aren't going to be there at the end, and you're not going to have that fit and finish that you want, especially if you're restoring a car, or it's not because of an accident. You're restoring a car, and you want it to look just like it did when it came out. You're going to take it to car shows or whatever. So when they miss, for example, I think it was this piece right here. This is another company's replacement piece compared to this one. And as you can see, I mean, this right here, this radius, this bend right here is completely different. That's going to definitely show up and not look right whenever you put this back in the car.
Yeah, and when you're talking about an expensive car or a car that's being showed, you're going to want those things to match up.
Well, absolutely. When you restore a car, you're putting a lot of love into, number one, if you're going to take one apart and restore it, you're going to put a lot of love into that, and you definitely want to make sure that everything fits exactly the way it should. Car guys are the worst critics whenever we build our own cars. Everybody says, "Hey, your car looks great," and you go, "Yeah, well, there's a flaw over here," and you know where all those are. And your products help keep those flaws out as far as the replacement stuff for all the trim pieces.
Yes. And then again, when they're test fitted, the primary purpose of a weather strip is to keep dirt, dust out, and whatnot. Sure. And not only that, but just noise as well. So the better the fit, the more precise the fit, the better off you're going to have as far as a clean cabin and then the inside, and then also noise reduction as well.
Noise reduction from the noise outside, but also, like, one of the things on your weather strips that I really like is there's an anti-rattle in there too. It keeps that window from rattling back and forth, and that's real important too. And a lot of the aftermarket folks don't do that. They actually skimp that area, and they'll make a part that's inferior to the original product.
Yeah, a lot of times it'll be too far away from the window. It could be where the window will rattle. Which obviously that causes a problem.
Sure.
If it doesn't flush against, if it's not properly against the door frame and the window, you're going to have water go inside, and you're going to create rust inside the door. So that whole seal area is very important in maintaining the structure of the car, or I should say the door, and getting a good performance.
Sure. Now you guys do a ton of different parts too. Another thing that you guys do, you have like, for example, this piece right here. This is what this is the seal like we're going to put in our Camaro. We're actually using Fairchild Automotive products to reseal our doors on our Project Camaro. This is that piece.
Yeah, and to talk about this, what you want is you want good compression on the vehicle. You want the correct profile. Most important is the clip placement, where these clips are located on the door. And then at the very ends, you have molded ends. You want good molded ends that are good, and it will stay together with the extrusion. And then also you want the end to form where the vehicle or where the previous molded OEM fit.
Right.
So these are pretty much, without using the same tool, we call these commercial equivalent to OEM. And they're made from using an OEM and then test fitted, and then they go to market.
Absolutely, and you guys do a great job with these. I mean, the fit and finish on these things is just fantastic. I mean, I'm really kind of excited. When we're restoring our Camaro, we're not going to restore it back to its factory '73 Camaro. We're actually going to get a little crazy with it, but it's a 350 4-speed car. But you know what? I want to be able to pull the door closed and not have any rattles or any squeaks or any of that stuff. And the Fairchild Automotive is really going to help us attain that with our door seals.
And it'll stay on too. I mean, there's little subtle things like inserts, metal inserts. Some people just put rubber here with a hole, so that could tear out. They could fall apart. So again, it's attention to detail and the longevity of the part that we're concerned about, as well as the function.
Okay. Now you guys do all kinds of things too. Also, door channels.
Yes.
You guys do the door channels. Let's talk a little bit about those. There are several different types. Let's talk about what they are.
Well, there's metal and there's rubber. There's felt. Primarily, the channel again is similar to the belt line molding in that it provides a channel where the window can rise up and down when you open and close the door.
Right.
A lot of channels come with molded corners where you want the corner to be the same as the OE, so it fits.
Sure.
It's not rounded, and it's not going to. It's going to fit more properly.
Right.
In installation as well, not just in performance. So when the door comes up, it's going to close. It's going to keep out that wind and noise, the dirt,
Sure.
all the things that you want in the cabin.
Right.
And it's going to again allow it to glide up and down freely. It has flocking material in there, so it's smooth.
Right.
And the window can
No chatter, none of that. Okay.
And also it goes all the way into the door itself.
Well, I noticed this one has the little metal channel inside built into it, just like the factory one did.
Right.
Okay, and you guys pay a lot of attention to detail with that.
Yes.
Now, this is the channel that you were talking about. Now, this is for an early model Bronco. This is a channel kit that these actually bolt inside the door and things like that. This is the one for the early model Bronco.
Exactly. This here is the upper channel, which is the what we call a channel run. And on the reason you don't see another channel here is there's a vent window here, and that has its own vertical channel itself.
Right.
And that's built into the vent itself.
Okay.
So it's separate from here. In this particular case, you're getting the upper top of the window and the back side of the window. Then you're getting the pieces that go inside the door as well, because when you close a window, obviously the window goes down. It needs to be guided in there too.
Right.
So, and then you're getting the brackets located exactly where the parts can mate to the door itself, where they line up to the holes, and you can easily put it in by taking out the panel.
Sure, and this is a great way to completely restore the inside of that door channel, that whole window deal. And you guys make this for other vehicles too. I know you guys deal in older Studebakers and things like that. So you guys have channels and things like that for a number of different cars.
Yes, GM, Ford, Chrysler.
Okay. Very good. Okay, now for certain vehicles, there are different types of trim packages, like, for example, our Camaro. There were several different options for the outside trim pieces on that. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the Camaro is an interesting vehicle in that they made 3 belt weather strips, particularly for the 70 to 81. They made a wide bead trim for their belt line molding, and this is an example of a commercial equivalent replacement. You have the wide bead.
Now you're talking about this piece of chrome on top is the wide bead part.
Wide bead part. This part is the part that glides against the window.
Against the glass, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's one version.
Okay.
Another version is
the narrow bead. Look at that. It's much thinner than this. Let's show that. You can see the difference in the amount of this little chrome bead here. It's about 1/5 the size or 1/3 the size of the amount of chrome on that.
And what that represents is different trim packages that were available.
Sure. The different trim packages.
And the third one itself was the black. And I think that's the one you have in your shop.
Yes, yes. Well, this is what I like anyway. I'm kind of a non-chrome guy,
Okay.
so but I like this. This is really neat.
Yeah.
And this looks like it just bolts right into place. I mean, all the radiuses are there. Everything has been done really well. This is an excellent piece. And then, of course, we have these little deals here to keep the windows from rattling.
These are pads that secure the piece in place,
Right.
And it obviously it just secures it more readily, so the whole piece is sturdy and it
Right,
and
right.
it's
And then
finished.
it keeps the window gliding up against and keeps the seal in there. This also helps the window from rattling too, yes?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Now, you also have other pieces for automotive restorations and things like that, like shift boot covers and things like that. So these are a couple of examples. What are these? What exactly are these?
These are shift boots. These are molded items as opposed to these we talked about here being extruded. And what's important is that these are again, these were made from original OEM parts. So they were measured, the hole placements were measured, prints were developed, and they came out and were test fitted. And
these are exact replacements. Now, these are for the Mustang.
this is for Mustang.
Okay, and then this is
an older version of a shift boot for Corvette.
Okay. Now, you guys do quite a bit for the older muscle car guys, the Corvettes, the Camaros, the Mustangs, things like that. But you also get into the vintage stuff. Like I have a couple buddies that are big Studebaker fans, and
Yes.
so you do quite a bit of stuff for the Studebakers and things like that.
We
too.
do have some select parts for a Studebaker vent window seal that we do, some channels as well. So we can, and we have developed parts for the vintage cars.
Well, and I'm sure that's just depends on the market and what's necessary out there. But your product is just top shelf, without question, and we're real excited to be using the Fairchild product on our Camaro too. We're looking forward to that. What other products do you guys carry? I know there's other things like we have trunk seals, we have windshield seals. One of the things that I see you carry is you have all the seals for Jeeps as well.
We have the cowl seal, which is somewhat like the door seal, where that's really one of the most replaced parts.
Yeah.
The cowl seal, the door seals, we have the channels, we have the tailgate, lower tailgate, upper tailgate, and mostly everything in Jeep that you could find. We also have the vent seals as well. Jeep came with vent. Vent windows.
Right.
And we carry anywhere from 51 all the way up to 04 now.
Oh wow! Okay. Now also, like our F-250 here they have the little bump stops that are under the hood, things like that. You guys carry those types of things too, and also there's also trim rubber, or there's also rubber under the hood too that seal the cowls. You guys carry those as well.
We do have a selection of those. We're actually building into the later models, I should say, at this point.
Okay.
Weather stripping. When you talk to weather stripping, we talk about rubber in a vehicle. We talk about weather stripping, but there's a lot more rubber in a vehicle than just weather stripping.
Of course.
There's hoods. There's we didn't even talk about the trunk seal. So we do a variety of different trunk seals as well.
Sure.
But we do bushings, motor mounts, and a lot of other things that go into the motor itself. And
sure. The little bump stops for your hoods when you close your hood down. So the little bump stops. Those go bad, especially in older cars, pickup trucks, things like that. The Chevrolets, those things are always usually gone or seriously dilapidated. And you guys have replacements for those as well. Okay. Very good. Okay, now let's talk about, you guys make some very complex pieces like what I'm holding on here. This is for a Grand Marquis. This is quite a piece of rubber, and you guys made all this.
Yeah, there's several different operations in the development of this part. Again, using an original OEM to reverse engineer it and put it together. It's the rear fixed window of the rear door of the Crown Vic for 1999, and what you have here is a combination of two things. You have the fixed window molded into a molded piece of rubber.
Right.
Then you have the channel that comes across, comes down, and goes into the door. You have a metal portion which is black colored.
Right.
And then also brackets that mold and position the part.
Yeah, this is like everything all built into one, and you guys this is real complex, and you guys made this. I'm sure it wasn't simple to make, but you sure make it look simple. So, this is something the OEMs do, and most aftermarket places won't even attempt this.
It's a very complicated part. The tooling's very expensive, but we've been able to develop it and bring it into the marketplace.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, this is just the regular channel, and this has got the metal. This has got the steel in the inside of it, and then, of course, the bracket. And I mean, this is a great piece too, and very well engineered. So, being able to engineer stuff like this, that makes this weather stripping kind of a little easy, doesn't it?
Well, you would think it'd be easy, but it is complicated. But this is, again, it's just a set of more operations.
Absolutely.
And it is more complicated, yes.
Well, you guys make an absolute fantastic product. We're really happy to be carrying it here at Andy's.
Thank you.
We like to give our customers the best product out there, and you guys certainly deliver with that.
Thank you very much.
So now let's now that we've gotten this out of the way, you guys also make this little wing window channel deal here too. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, the vent window seal. Obviously, in older vehicles, there's different vents that were available. This happens to be for Jeep for the CJ.
Yeah.
And it's a one molded piece. This is not extruded. It's actually a mold that's put together, developed, and designed, and then molded and crafted.
Very nice. That's a very nice piece. Now, you guys also do other things, like we have a little body mount here.
Yes.
You guys make these things too. Again, anything that has to do with rubber, or you guys and you guys build them.
Yeah, rubber and metal together, we can do that as well. Rubber and plastic. The later models, for example, like the Ranger, it's a dual durometer, which is a plastic and PVC together.
Right.
It's a next generation of your belt line moldings, which
Right.
are similar to like this 65 Mustang
Sure.
belt line. You can see the difference in generations.
Absolutely. Now, one of the cool. This is now on my. I've got a couple of Mustangs, older Mustangs. Well, not older anymore. Now it's a '91. It's not older anymore. But this piece right here always starts to fade and crack and come apart. And usually we just sand them and shoot them flat black. Didn't know there was actually the parts available where I could just replace those to make the car look really good. And that's what this is. This is that part that constantly that the sun beats on and the UV, and it just tears it apart and it starts to deteriorate and dilapidate, and now you can just replace those.
Yeah, depending on the part of the country you live, you have more sun. Obviously, it's drier air, so you may have more deterioration on an OE part. They will fall apart eventually. They
Absolutely, and so you guys have a great replacement for that.
Thank you.
So let's talk about how long Fairchild's been in business and how you guys got started.
Well, actually, the company started around 1956, and it grew from there. We've developed into the industrial area, and also then from there we went into the automotive aftermarket.
Okay.
That started up in the early 80s when somebody came to us and said, "Hey, we have a part that you need. Can you make this?
Can you make one of those, right?"
And the founder, the owner of our company, said, "Sure."
That's always what the founders and owners always say.
Right.
Can you do this? Absolutely.
Absolutely. So he found and he learned how to make this and develop it, and it's developed from there.
You guys have a huge line of products, and we're real excited about carrying them here at Andy's. We've been doing business together for some time, and we appreciate that. Have you felt that Andy's has been a good fit for you guys?
Most definitely. Your ability to distribute and get to the customer and explain, show them exactly what they need, maybe what they're looking for, helping them along, making sure they're getting the right part.
Well,
works very well.
And that's been kind of nice because we have manufacturers like you that come in and help train our staff, and so we can help lead those customers from behind, and we need your help to do that too, and we really appreciate that, and you guys have been a great partner for us.
And we hope to continue that too. Thank you very much.
Very good. Mike, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate Fairchild being part of our happy family here at Andy's.
It's been a pleasure. I hope I can help.
Thank you. Check out the link below to see what we have available for your vehicle from Fairchild Automotive. Or you can call one of our knowledgeable sales staff at 800-419-1152 or email us at info@andysautosport.com. We hope you've learned something today, and we'll see you on another Andy's Autosport Manufacturer Spotlight.